You are moving forward thanks to Chiron direct and the supermoon in Cancer. So we have Chiron turning direct today in Aries, and then we also have a full supermoon in Cancer, and that happens around 5 a.m.-ish Eastern time. Both of these things together give us some very potent but low-key shifts. In other words, this isn't about like big, loud breakthrough moments. This is more like a collective exhale, a sigh of relief. Your body gently unclenching and relaxing after being rigid and protective for so long, which is exactly what many of us have been experiencing, for some of us for many years. That feeling that we have to brace ourselves for what's next, that we're unsafe, and that we can't do certain things because we have this feeling in our body that goes like this and sort of stops us from moving forward. So as Chiron turns direct today in Aries, Aries is a fire sign, so that's forward movement. We start to feel that loosening of that tightness. We start to feel like we don't have to constantly defend ourselves anymore, that we don't have to stay like vigilant all the time. We start feeling like we can trust ourselves more, like we can let our guard down a little bit, and that we can put ourselves out there in the world more confidently than we have been. So we've been processing around these issues for a long time, because these are deep-seated childhood wounds around feeling safe being ourselves. And that's like the deepest wound that we all have, but it's also the most common. How many times in your life do you remember being scolded for something, or punished for something, or ridiculed for something that you felt like was a part of you, was a part of who you are? We've all gone through that. Even if it was circumstantial, it somehow always felt personal when somebody did those kinds of things to us. So these are those wounds, and we don't remember most of them consciously. So that's why sometimes you have to be careful not to try to force yourself to know and understand what all these wounds are. They get processed in your subconscious too. So you don't need to necessarily be aware of everything that's healing. You just have to have faith that it is healing as you go. So deep wounds take time to unwind, and it's different for everybody. Some people might get through it really quickly. Some people it takes years. Some people it takes decades. You just don't know. But we're finally at the point collectively, as a collective, as human beings on this planet, where the energy starts to shift forward around these issues for everybody. So when this happens, we start to feel like we don't need permission to be who we are anymore. We feel free to try new things without worrying about how they're going to turn out or whether we're doing things right. We feel more comfortable with uncertainty, and we feel more allowed to do things in our own timing and not according to shoulds or schedules or opinions from other people or judgments. So this Cancer supermoon comes in, and because it's a supermoon, it amplifies the light and shines sort of this bright spotlight on things like nervous system regulation and feeling safe in our bodies and feeling emotional safety. Again, without pushing, without even knowing, without needing to know, it's all about this push forward for us in our physical life, in our mental and emotional life, in our spiritual life. It's this forward movement, and it's encouraging us to, again, only move forward with things when we feel the yes in us, and not when everybody else thinks or says or, believes that we should be doing certain things. So supermoons amplify everything. And this moon is in Cancer, so that's deeply emotional territory. So that's how you might be feeling as we move through this. Maybe more quiet and reflective and emotional and nostalgic. This is a sign that real healing and integration are happening. This is the kind of healing that restores our confidence in ourselves. It restores our courage. This is the kind of healing that gives permission for us to step forward into the unknown and to go after things with curiosity instead of fear and judgment. And when we allow this kind of healing, the kind of healing that's coming from this moon and from Chiron going direct in Aries, we give ourselves this gift of living as we truly are, as we were truly meant to be, and it sets us free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.